Hey guys, what is up? Lord Nick here, bringing you another episode of the Dangerous Game Podcast, episode number 32. As always, I am joined this week by my friend Sarcasm. We don't have Goomba this week. He was supposed to join us, and then he flexed on us because he has a girlfriend that wanted to play video games with him, so he went and did that. So feel free to send him that love and harassment on his Twitch stream the next time he's streaming. We will still link it in the YouTube video tomorrow. And how's your week going, Sark?
Pretty good. Nothing really changed. Same old stuff.
Same old,
Wait,
same old, same
uh,
old.
wait. Did this happen this week or last week? He got back in a plat. Was that this week or last week?
That was this week because I was still gold last week.
Okay.
When we were talking about how I had the highest win rate, and then I was and then I just got back into it.
You were flexing on us.
Literally, the reason I went for it was somebody came into my chat one of the days that I was streaming Norms, and he called me being afraid to try to finish my promos, and my response was, "No, I just haven't felt like it." And it made me like physically and mentally upset that he accused me of this. So to prove him wrong, I played my last game of my promos, won it. I played absolutely dog shit in that game, but I was Mundo, and it got to late game, so the game went our way. So, uh, but it worked. I mean, I'm back in flat at least, so that's the real upset of that one, I guess. But
Does it feel good to be back in plat?
not as good as I was hoping it would be, man. Like I guess because I didn't do it with that planned, like I'm going for plat or I'm going for something. There was no like real like satisfaction that like, oh man, I worked my ass off for it. Literally stumbled my way in with Warwick and Mundo, and two champions I don't play a whole lot of it, right? But I mean, it's nice. It definitely feels less bad. Where it felt really bad being stuck in gold one, but
Oh wait, wow! I didn't even realize you started owning 200 promos. So
mm-hmm. Friggin' reverse swept that crap, dude. Pulled a full on Mad Lions on it.
Bad Lions reverse swept today.
Yeah, you didn't see that?
I saw the score at the end, but I was actually asleep when this year's.
LEC finals. Rogue did okay game one, dominated game two, pretty much had to win game three through it. Pretty even game four, but Mad won a pretty decisive team fight and won it. Game five, Rogue had it. Larson threw, and they lost the game.
Feels bad, dude.
Yeah, Rogue had that series. That was their series. And Mad really, really worked their ass off to make sure that they got that. And Rogue threw some pretty bad fights, bad positioning. Just it was a little bit unfortunate to see some of it. That being said, the C9 games were just as debacle of like what is going on.
Did you watch the whole series?
Everything but
Or
game
EU?
five. I missed game five. I've watched every other game, and dear lord, did I?
Wait, you missed game 5 of the C9 game?
Yeah,
Oh my god.
we had people over at dinner and stuff, and I had to be out there talking to people, so I completely missed game five, and it made me very upset. But
First guide.
dude, the rest of that series was just like pretty much. I think the first it should have been a 3-0 sweep for TL. Do you see that game too?
Hmm.
So TL like was losing for a good while, and then all of a sudden they spiked up to like the 6,000 gold lead, and then like I had to take my grandmother home, so I didn't get to see the tail end of the game. It was already like 30 minutes when I left, and I'm like, oh yeah, TL's got this in the fucking bag. I come back, TL lost it. So somehow they managed to throw this massive lead game two, and then they won game three where C9 was just playing like chimps.
I came in at the end of game 3.
C9 was playing like chimps that game. It was horrid to watch, dude. Game four was pretty good. I liked game four actually. I thought it was a pretty solid game. It was a bit more enjoyable than game two at least. Uh, and I didn't get to see game five, so I didn't know how that one turned out. But It was interesting series nonetheless. I think the Rogue Mad Lions was a better series overall, but
And you know what's insane? Alfaria first blooded every game, right?
yeah, he did.
Mhm.
I didn't track that. I didn't know if that happened in game 5 as well. So that's bad. It's unfortunate.
Okay. I was at work during this. Let me see what I watched. Okay, I started watching during game 3, and I think it was the end of game 3.
So, did you see
Oh no,
any
no, wait,
co-streams or were you watching the mainstream?
I was watching the mainstream.
Did you know? I didn't know this until I went on Twitter midway. I was watching the LS co-stream because I love watching him and Nemesis or him and Crownshot just talking shit about stuff. Um, it's fun. They're fun to watch. But I found midway through game 3, I think it was, that there was a co-stream who had an analyst desk, or well, a host desk, not really an analyst desk. They were just kind of hosting, of Ovely May, Brian Kibler, and Broxa. And I was like, that's a dope co-stream. I want to watch that. And then it got to the casters, and the casters were Papa Smithy and Doa.
Oh shit,
It
that's pretty
was so
cool.
good. It was such a good stream, dude. It was so amazing. Oh, I loved it so much.
What are they streaming on? Who's
They were on
Twitch?
the G4 TV.
Oh,
So like the gamers TV, which is it was dope. It was really cool. I was so happy to see Doa's casting again, seeing Papa Smithy cast again, and both of them were just back in sync. They're so good, man. It was so fun. And then the goofy crap that they were doing to fill out the time when there was that giant delay for the start on what was it game 3, game 4? There was a giant delay for one of the starts. And so they were just filling out time doing goofy
well,
stuff with Avali, Brian Kibler, and Broxa, and they're all just doing goofy things. It was fun. It was such a fun stream to watch. Also, Ellis got tilted after I think it was game 1, because I watched him for the LEC stuff, and then into game 1, he didn't start streaming game 1 until it was already halfway over, because he got tilted at the beginning because chat was harassing him, and he also pissed off Nemesis, and Nemesis left for the night, just went to bed, because he promised to get him ice cream, and then he told the stream when Nemesis was away, that he was just gonna do that cashback and cancel thing to not send him ice cream, like
hell?
like to fuck with him, to make him be waiting for this ice cream and it not to actually show up. And then he heard that and he was just so tired already because it's like it's like 3 in the morning for him.
Yeah.
And so Nemesis just comes back and he's like, they flipped it to me and he's like, oh shit, we've been discovered. He was like, I'm going to bed, bye, and just leaves. It was so good. It was so funny, dude. But then LS like started getting harassed by stream that he forced. The joke was like, "Oh, you forced Nemesis to go away." Also, I learned today why he calls him Lemon, not Nemesis. It's a Chinese thing. So in Chinese, LE and was it like LE and MO and NE? There's not a whole lot of difference in how they pronounce it. Like they often get very confused. Um, and so Lemesis was kind of a joke. And instead of using salty, they use lemons. So like when you're salty, you're sour as a lemon. So like, so that's their form of salt. And so some reason it just became a joke that he was Lemonsis over there. Um, was their joke for some reason as a nickname there. And so he just calls him Lemon. And it fits because he's also a really salty player when he streams. So it's just kind of funny.
Let's see. Yeah, I've never watched LS and Nemesis stream too much, so I don't know much about them or
I
how
watch
their like co-cast stuff goes.
I watch all of his like highlight stuff from his YouTube stuff, and then when I actually watch live games now, I'm basically if it's not Azale and Captain Flowers, I generally watch Nemesis stuff, or if it's I also like Pastry Time and Crumbs. I don't know why I like Pastry Time with most people, but Pastry Time and Crumbs is really fun.
I think if like I was actually watching most of the game, it wouldn't be too bad to watch like other streams. But since I'm usually at work, I have to watch like the main stream because they stay like on just explaining what's going on to you. because sometimes I just have my headphones in, but I'm not actually watching the game.
Yeah, you just listen to the audio.
Yeah,
If they do this G4 TV thing again with those as the host for any time in the future, dude, I'm gonna watch that. Like, I doubt Papa Smithy will be on the co-cast unless his team's already out of contention for something. But if they have Doa and somebody else, you bet I'm gonna be trying to watch that, dude. I was so excited to hear Doa casting again. Um, so what have you been doing in League this week? What is some of the stuff you've been doing with League? I've seen you on a bit more, or at least it feels
yeah.
like a bit more.
Played Wild Rift, you know.
Uh,
And I played a bunch of One for All and normals, and I think that's pretty much it. Did I play any rank this week? I don't think so. Maybe a flex. Let me look. Let me look at my match history. Oh wait, did I play my rank this week? I did play my rank this week. Okay, so I did play some ranked since the last time we talked. I on Monday night, I since I had Tuesday off, I had a little to drink, and then randomly I wanted to play solo queue or
oh boy,
ranked.
I gotta look
So
this up.
I do it with my friend, and I lost 4 games in a row.
Oh
And
no.
then I win it, and then I demoted to plat 4, and then I did the next day. I was like, all right, I'm gonna still get the plat 3 back, and I played till I got my plat 3 back.
It only took you 6 games to get your Plat 3 back.
Yeah, actually, I only took 4 because the last 2 were actually at the end of the night
Okay.
on Monday night when I wasn't drunk anymore though. I was like just slightly buzzed, you know. So I was like, all right, at least I'm like sobered up enough to win these 2 last games. The Nautilus game doesn't look that good, but I actually leaned against the Fizz and I just
Oh, you put a
hard
lot
code.
of Nautilus mid.
Yeah,
I thought that was a support, and I was like, that's not that bad for a support.
I
For
don't
a
know.
mid, that looks
Actually,
atrocious.
the Gragas game is actually fucking weird. I beat the Pantheon in lane going tank Gragas into AP. So
Fuck.
I wrecked Sunfire and then I built a Demonic Embrace into I was gonna get Zonia's next. And even before I get finished Sunfire, I was out training him. I don't know how. Like, because I figured if I was AP, I'd definitely like lose every trade really hard. Because he could just start the trade with the stun and then do his combo and then E as he walked backwards. So I was like, I'll just go tank so that he can't like hard bully me and I'll still feel kind of useful in team fights.
Yeah, doesn't
And
his
then
stun actually beat yours?
I don't know,
Or it might be one of
but
those, like, hits each
like
other at the same time type thing.
well, it's like the type of thing where like his stun is just a point and click and so fast that like I'd have to if I'm playing around the fact that I can press E every time you can press W, it's not going to be consistent, you know. So I was just going with the okay, I'll let him stun me and then trade with him after and see how it goes. Because if I'm tank, he can do his whole combo and then I can just wait his E out and then trade with him after, you know. Was my plan,
Mhm.
and I just ended up destroying him because when he does the full combo, it gives me enough time to like get a grass proc ready, and then I just E into him and drop my Q at the same time and get the W off, and I get like a full trade back because normally Panth just wants to do his full combo and then walk away and be fine. But yeah, it was weird. I don't know how I won that so hard. I didn't think I would.
I haven't tried Aegis back on him recently. I've done the other two tank items if I've done tank Gragas, but I hadn't tried Aegis. I generally, when I really want to do tank Gragas, I'll do like Everfrost, Demonic Embrace, and then full tank. And it works really well for being tanky. Um, I haven't tried tank Gragas, let alone tank Gragas mid. Um, Sark, why are your CS numbers so low?
I don't see us.
Okay, fair.
I mean, okay, the Nautilus game, I was Nautilus. The Gragas game, I literally dicked him down in lane and then just started roaming. And then let's see. Oh, the Yari game.
There's a the Yasuo game there.
The Yari game, I was winning so hard that my bot just came mid and then I just gave him all the CS. And then like look at my score. I didn't need items anymore. I was so far ahead. I could like one shot anyone on the team. And then the Yasuo game, I just got destroyed. I did not know. I thought Caston like would beat me pretty hard later, but I didn't know that like he pretty much beat me as soon as we hit like level 3. I couldn't bully him anymore, and that was not fun. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really see us.
Yeah, I'm looking at that. Your CS numbers are pretty low, to be honest.
I don't I don't farm like late game. I'm not like in lane. I farm, but then like when it gets to the point where
You're that dude on
every
Blitz app where it just says stopped farming.
yeah, I'm like when my mid or if my bot lane comes mid or like we're all in the same lane, like during a team fight, I pretty much never take the CS unless I'm like 100 gold from an item or something. I'm just like whatever. I'll just let my teammates take the CS. Like I don't need it. But yeah, I mean CSing has never been something that I was super good at too. But yeah, my CS is really low on all these games. I like how low my Ara game was.
I,
But
I
look at
don't I don't like how low that
but
is,
look
dude.
at look at
38
my item.
minutes.
Like
Yeah, I know you have
what
an obscene amount of kills though. So
what would more CS like taking away from my team really do? Give me like
no, but yeah, you have an obscene amount of kills. It's just like if you didn't have those kills, I feel like I don't know. To me, that looks like yeah, you're a coin flip player, my friend.
really?
I don't- Yeah, so what determines a coin flip player? What do you think is like the biggest thing between a coin flip player and a standard like godlike player, like
Uh,
for instance, like Chovy, for instance?
that when you're a coin flip player, when you start losing, you're not useful anymore. I feel like even when I'm behind, I'm pretty useful to my team.
Well, but when you're behind, how behind are you? So put it to the.
Really, like really. I guess unless unless my whole team's behind, then I guess I'm really behind. But usually that's like that doesn't matter at that point, right?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter at
Yeah.
that point. But
I
so
feel like
like,
I guess I'm always relevant in the game. I feel like in every game that I play, I'm pretty relevant. Like
I don't
like
know.
even also a game, I was ulting the Kassadin because he was the only fed person on the enemy team.
Mhm.
So I just hit R on him. That the Kane was fed too, but he was really bad.
Why'd you go Titanic that game?
Oh, because I kept dying to Kassadin. I kept getting ganked. So I was like, you know what? I'll just stay alive and press R on Kassadin while my team kills everyone else.
You could have done like a Mercurials instead there, and then you get MR, you get healing.
Yes, but I mean, what am I getting
Wasn't it
QSS?
crit now too?
Me?
Well, no, not as much for the act. I mean, the active is nice still. I mean, I guess if Maokai just jumps on you, but it gives you the MR for surviving, and it like the biggest thing about Yasuo now is like that 3 item spike where you get the 3 heal item combination, and then you're just unkillable.
Yeah, I wasn't unkillable.
Well, I
I
mean,
was.
you only
I
won
was
with one heal item too, so
That's because that's when I needed the first two, and then I finished Titanic, and then I didn't know what to build after, so I just built the Sheen.
Sheen. It's a solving
But
problem
yeah,
of everything.
I mean those two items, I feel like you have to build first on Yasuo, like fucking
Uh,
shield bolt,
you don't have to
infinity.
build the IE.
Okay, I'm used to those two items. So
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
that's why I'm used to like okay, I know that I'm strong now, like, and I know about how strong I should be right now. And
the
then what happened was I was still like far enough behind where I was like, all right, like I feel strong, like I can solo kill Ezreal, but the Kayn and the fucking Cassidy just run me down every fight, so like
mm,
it doesn't matter that much. And the Garen, their team was just running me down, so I built Titanic to try to stay alive.
the
That was
build I've
basically
seen for Yasuo involved doing what is it? It's like Immortal Shield Bow into a Bork into a death.
a
No, not Death
torch.
Stance. I have to look it up. 1 second. It's
Dude,
3 heal items. I can't remember the 3 heal items here,
I'm
but I just
pretty
remember
sure
it's Bloodthirster.
it's like
It's
yeah,
it's immortal into Bloodthirster, so you have your 100. You have your 100.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I was
That's what
like,
it is. And then your third item's another heal item, but I don't remember which one it is. Um, might be Asterix. That might be right.
Immortal and Sterix.
No, it can't be Asterix. What the hell is it?
And Stannis doesn't heal.
Well, Sterix does. The lifeline passive heals. But no, it's not there. So it's Immortal, Bloodthirster.
It's IE. That's the third
Maybe it's
item.
Ravenous. Might be Ravenous. That sounds right.
You can just try pro builds what they build.
That's true. But this is the build that I'd been seeing on it, and it's just like it embodies the 0 and 10 Yasuo playstyle. Because as long as you can get to that build path, you're unkillable at that point. You're just critting on every hit. You have ridiculous cooldown reduction.
Pro builds in Spanish.
Oh man, there are so many different builds on this pro build.
It still says Spanish, even though I have English set. Yeah,
there's so many different builds. Holy hell! Wait, why is mine in Spanish too? What's going on here?
Just look at the top 3 items though. It's always Shieldbolt, IE, BT.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe BT would have been pretty much as good as what's it called, if you're actually fighting. But Cassidy and Kane running me down, dude. I was not fighting. I did like one auto attack. I'd get one auto attack off, and then I'd be like, all right, I guess I'm dead. But luckily my team could kill them too, and they were like, they both waste all their skills to chase me down, you know.
Why is mine in Spanish too? This is gonna bug me too. Why is mine in Spanish? So, because I see it on the list, it kind of reminded me of something. How do you like Phantom Dancer? I think the item's broken.
I like it a lot. At first, dude, I forgot they added AD to it, so I didn't build it that much. but then I remember they added AD because I was playing Tristana and I was like, why do they always build Phantom Dancer second? And then I was like, oh, it gives AD now, right? And then I tried it a few times and yeah, it's pretty intense.
So I've tried it on Jinx, right? Like the few times that I've built it, outside of on, I've also built it on Viego, which I think it's a disgusting item on Viego.
You get it off minions too, right?
Yeah, yeah, you get it off of. So if you do Viego jungle, you get it off monsters as well. It's so gross, dude.
I didn't know that either. I thought the stacks were only like from auto attacking champions.
If so it would be a lot more balanced. But
yeah.
It's grody, dude. Oh my god, it's so grody because like especially on like Viego, you already have a fast clear and it just amps your clear up obscenely fast. But on like Jinx, I was doing it instead of doing Runan second. And one of the guys that I was playing with, he's like, "Why aren't you doing Runan second? That's how you make Jinx do damage." And I was like, "No, this is how you make Jinx do damage." He's like, "What do you mean?" And I started Rocket Form. Like I didn't even use my minigun in a fight, and I just did Rocket Form, and you get that attack speed buff, and you're just chunking people. It's so gross how much extra damage it does. It's insane. That one item is just so disgustingly strong.
Yeah, that's pretty nuts. I didn't expect it to like be that much better than before. Because I remember before when it didn't give the AD, it didn't feel like good.
Yeah, it also gave that the other passive, right? Like it had a different like active passive or whatever on it. It didn't give you that attack speed, and that attack speed steroid is huge. And then the iteration they had before it was just didn't feel great, and then this iteration feels really good. But it's funny because like I watch the pro scene and they don't build it. Like a lot of people in NA especially don't build it. China only like 2 ADCs I've seen build it consistently. EU it's kind of intermittent as well, and then LCK it's very like hit or miss if they build it. Which I think it's just weird. I think the item is just disgustingly overtuned.
Did anyone build it this week? Or in C9's game?
Possibly. They might have been building it.
Tristana built it, but that's like...
Yeah, like I see it on Tristana all the time because I mean it makes sense on Tristana. Like you should almost always have it on her. But like I don't see it on Jinxes as much. But then again, Jinxes are always banned now. And then like
I don't build it at all, but I guess I don't really see a champion that needs it.
Like not necessarily needs it, but like
no, I meant like in the games today, like the C9 games.
Yeah, it's also really gross on Jhin. For a less obvious reason, it's broken on Jhin, and that's just because instead of getting the attack speed, it just makes you go faster when you crit.
all that was played today was Tristana, Kai'Sa, Zaya, Aphelios, and Sivir. Oh, and Kalista.
So, like, my other question ends up being, like, why aren't they building it on Kaisa over doing that stupid serrated Dirk? Like, doesn't it give roughly the same amount? Two longswords give just a little bit less than the serrated Dirk,
Like the pen part is really strong when you get the line.
I guess. I don't know. I do also agree. That's one
And
thing that Ellis has
then
said too, is that, like, people are just picking only a couple champions in each role right now, as if these champions have no counterplay. And it's been bugging the crap out of me too, because, like, I've noticed there's some counterplay. Hecarim, I feel like, is disgustingly strong. But as for the other ones, I think that they almost all have counterplay. Like, Kaisa definitely has more picks into her other than Tristana. Like, but and other than just Jinx, like, there's the people from back when Kaisa finally had gotten nerfed and was still one of the top champs back in, what was it, season 9, when she was busted as hell. And then there ended up being counter picks that came out that people had to solve to pick into her. And then nobody ever picks those champions. Nobody ever plays those champions into her.
Kai'Sa only won. Oh, Kai'Sa won 50-50 today.
Yeah.
To win.
But she's in, like, every game still. Like, that's the part that's, like, so nuts. It's like, I don't think she's that high. Like, she should be that high of a priority.
I don't know if it's related to in terms of the whole team, but I feel like just playing her when I don't play AD carry much, she's one of the AD carries where I play and I'm like, wow, I actually feel like I'm doing damage, and I have like some ability to like not instantly get blown up because I can R away.
She
Okay.
feels like she might have a little bit more agency, I guess.
Yeah,
So you don't have to rely on your teammates as much, which
yeah.
to a solo
And
queue mentality, I think that makes a ton of sense.
Tristana is like the same thing. Tristana
Yeah.
and Kai'Sa are the ADCs that I. Maybe
So
it's Sivir too that I can play right now, and I'm like, it doesn't feel that bad. I'm okay with I got 80 carry this game.
So like then that's a great understanding of it, is like, yeah, you feel like you have a bit more agency, which makes sense for solo queue. Why the hell are they doing it only in pro play? Like, why are those the only champions they pick in pro play? Are these things with agency? Like, they obviously, I guess it's like these teams just don't trust each other or something. Like, that's just the weirdest aspect
I
to it to
mean,
me.
I also banned a lot of AD carries.
In the C9 and yeah, in the C9 series, they definitely
Yeah,
banned a shit ton of
because
them.
like, okay, the game that you just picked. Let's see,
There was like a Jinx, Senna, Ash, I think.
Zaya,
Zaya.
Jinx Senna, Zaya banned, and then let's see what else was banned when she was picked. Zaya banned again.
Because,
Uh,
like, Zaya's the go-to, like, counter pick for her, supposedly, at this point.
Jinx Senna again. Zaya again. Yeah, I don't know.
But, like, you still have stuff like Varus is actually decent again. I guess LCS is still on a couple patches behind now, but, like, um,
Oh, yeah, I saw that. I don't know why
it's on an
Varus is.
11.5. So I don't think Varus got the big buff
What?
until 6, right?
What changed? What changed to make people want to play him again?
They gave him a decent sized buff on one of the patches. So he's not as bad. He's not great, but he's not as bad. AP Varus is surprisingly strong right now, and I don't see it a whole lot, but, like, because of how they changed his W a while back, like, it scales better with AP now, and, like, the burst you get from that is very gross. So, like, one of the builds I've been, like, experimenting with on occasion was, like, doing a what was I doing? I think I was doing either Shield Bow or Gale Force, and then going into Nashers.
I'll stop doing lethality saver.
I think it was about the patch that they buffed that Lethality Saber started coming up. Uh,
Wait,
but also, people aren't doing Lethality Saber either.
yeah, that's what I was saying. People don't do. I was looking at Varus, and they're building him lethality now, and I was curious if people still did lethality saver, or if he's just better. So I went to check, and no one's doing lethality saver.
He scales a bit better with it, and also I think the most recent nerf they did to Mana Immune really killed the Lethality Saber a lot.
Why did they change about mana?
So it doesn't proc as much off of abilities, I think, or something like that. It still procs off of them, but not as much, or some shenanigans like that. I don't remember the exact nerf on it. I just remember some of my ADC friends complaining about it. And then I found out, I don't know if it's a bug or intentional, but York's Q does not stack tier.
That's interesting.
It's an empowered auto, but like Nasus's Q does, Ezreal's Q does, York's does not.
I don't think Ezreal's Q is an auto.
It applies auto effects. So like if you have
Yeah,
anything,
it's not like it doesn't apply on his auto attack. Though. It's its own skill.
technically it's a skill,
It's
but
not like
like,
you press Q and auto something.
but I
It's
think it was
just it.
coded like an auto so that you,
Yeah, yeah, it is. It's just it's like a projectile still. It's not like
yeah.
an empowered.
But like, I mean, there's other
Interesting.
empowered autos in the game that proc it, and it's just it doesn't. It's so weird. But the York buffs felt disgustingly powerful as well. I've been playing a lot of York. They're so
Like
good.
when you're that. Also, all I see is that the mana bonus or AD bonus on
Is it the
what's
AD
it called?
bonus on Mirror Mana?
Load from 2.5 to 2.
There you go.
Doesn't seem like.
Doesn't seem like it'd be that big, right? But everybody's been bitching that it feels like it's terrible. So I don't know. I don't see the reasons that it's dead, but I guess Varus is just a better and more consistent version of it. Um, on top of that, like Sivir wants to auto attack, so I guess I don't know. I don't know enough about the ADC role right now to know why they aren't doing that.
Honestly, it's just better. So there's no point in picking Silver if you want to do that build. If
Yeah,
you're gonna do that build anyway, you might as well pick Vars. That's what I'm assuming happened.
yeah. I imagine the Triforce buffs are going to be disgustingly good for Ezreal. Just because now they're giving him CDR, attack damage, and movement speed opposed to attack speed, which that's a lot better on Ezreal.
Who are you talking about? My bad, I got distracted.
Triforce buffs for easy.
Oh, okay.
I think it's probably going to become the mythic for him because the mythicless build has been the build for him. But I imagine the Triforce buffs means he's going to be doing that. Maybe. I don't know. It's really good on York. The York buffs are disgusting. I've been having a ton of fun with York jungle. Um, man, I really had stuff that I kind of wanted to talk about this week, but I can't even remember what they are. And I put down the topics, and I'm looking at them. I'm like, what did I want to talk about? Like,
Yeah, I
uh,
haven't even looked at our things. I mean, we're doing pretty well just going. I think. So
eh,
it's
I feel like it's a little bit slower pace. We're not kind of like bouncing as much, but Uh, screw it. You know what? Goomba's not here to rain on our parade. How fat are you, Sark? Do you think it's affect your play? How fat have you gotten, Sark?
I'm still pretty fat, but I lost weight, and I don't know. I think it's not really like a. Well, I'm sure physically it affected me a little or a decent amount, but I think it's more of like a mental thing, you know. Not just mentally that because of my losing weight made me feel better, but more like since I'm actually doing things to be healthier, I feel better more often. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. When
And,
when you're healthier, you
and
subconsciously
like,
just start feeling better, anyways.
well, yeah, I think. I mean, I think when you're like really unhealthy for a long time, it like slows like how well you think and react and stuff. Like not to an extreme amount, but to some extent, you know. And once you start getting healthier again and you feel like better, it, I don't think since I slowly gained weight like over time, I didn't notice how much it was like affecting me until I started being healthier. And then it's like, holy shit, I feel so much better like more often.
Yeah,
If
I
sense.
I can agree
Like
on that one.
you know, like the like when you get itis or like feel kind of sluggish because you ate too much or something. You know,
Hmm.
like I feel like I felt like that so often while I was getting weight to the point where I didn't even think about the fact that it was happening. And then once I lost some of the weight, I was like, wow, I feel a lot better. You know, I feel a lot more like like I can think clearly and I don't know, just overall a better mindset.
Yeah. I mean, I can second that. I think as I've progressively gotten fatter over this last year, um, I definitely feel like I've gotten a little bit more sluggish at times. Like my brain lags a little bit more than it used to. Um,
Yeah.
it's weird. Oddly enough, I feel like because of the route that I took to get fatter, I've just naturally also improved my skills. So it's really hard for me to differentiate. Did the fat help or did it hurt? Like, like I don't know how much it's one way or the other. There, I mean, there are those aspects where it's just like at times I'm just like I can't do anything. I'm just groggy and foggy. Um, but then there's other times where it's just like, man, I like the biggest thing that has hurt me, I think, from it is like I've gotten fatter and now I'm to the point that like my body wants to, I guess, maintain a steady weight at where it's at. And so like there's just points where it's just like, yeah, I ate a big meal today and now I'm just really hungry for no reason. Like I wouldn't normally be eating at this time and I don't generally like to eat right now, but I'm just super freaking hungry again. And so like I was snacking more and stuff like that and it feels so bad cuz like all my snacks are junk food and crap. Um
Yeah.
and so I mean I definitely think it does affect my play and I think like there's part of I'm trying to do better practice has helped me get better, and I think I have been slightly inhibited by the like the side effects of getting fatter.
I think part of it too is that like usually if you're getting fatter, it doesn't just mean that like you're gaining weight or something. It means that like you're being lazy and like not wanting to do anything and like wanting to eat unhealthy, which is contributing to like
Yeah,
the which those things affect your mental, you know, because
yeah,
it means you're not actively trying to do anything to get better. In fact, you're like actively doing things that make you physically worse, and then like
but
affects
it's
your
so
mental.
comforting.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
that's the worst part is it's like it feels so comforting, right? Like oh man, and it's so hard to want to break it. Like I've gotten myself to a point that it's like, you know, I'm only like 40 pounds over what previously was my max weight. That's not that bad. And then I think about it as like 40 pounds. Oh god. Like there's moments of breaking. With it though, I've also recently started watching a lot more of these like 30-day 100 push-ups a day challenge things. I don't know why. I mean, I watch Juji Mufu, who's a fitness YouTuber, like bodybuilder, and a couple other guys. And it like I'm not a fit guy in the slightest. So like I'm watching these guys and it's like I'm watching him do reps of like 530 and it's like, oh man, I wish I could do that. And it's like, no, I really don't, man. That man's got some giant muscles and that looks uncomfortable to get through door frames. Um, but like it does like it should help like inspire me to do these things. No, not in the freaking slightest. But I started watching these like 100 push-up a day things and I'm watching these guys and it's like the first couple of days I'm like that's exactly how I'd be. And then I started trying to do it myself this week. So I still need to do the push-ups for today, but yeah.
Oh, today will be over, buddy. You have like 30 minutes.
Yeah, so I missed today. Whatever.
Oh,
Um
wait a sec. I'll be right back. I need to go AFK for a sec.
oh boy.
Don't worry. I believe in you. You
Like the
can
good old
go for
times. You know
5
what?
minutes.
Fine. Chat gets to listen to me do push-ups then.
Yeah, do your push-ups, bro. That
Do
sounds
my
good.
push-ups. Do my push-ups while on podcast. There you go. Problem solved here. Meanwhile, Chad, if you have anything right now you want to ask me, feel free. I'm going to be doing push-ups right next to the microphone. I might be able to read it. I don't know. Here we go. 1, 2. All right. Well, a little bit of a pansy. Fucking hurts. I'm out of breath. Tells you how fat I am. I did 20, FYI. If anybody's wondering. Oh, fuck. Oh, Lord. But still, chat, if you're wondering, the most exercise I generally do prior to this stupid challenge had been walking from my bedroom to the fridge. As much of a joke as that is, It's also not a joke. Occasionally, I guess I'd go somewhere else and do something else. Dear Lord. It sounds so terrible. I can't catch my breath. Oh, Lord. But yeah, I mean, uh, easy morning, Willow. What's up? Time to watch the Death Fist. Whew, heavy breathing, buddy. Heavy breathing. But I think, I mean, putting on the weight definitely has the negatives, like he said. The psychological side of the negatives, the physiological side of the negatives that aren't always necessarily like, oh, I'm so fat I can't click a button anymore.
All right.
Oof, I'm out of breath though.
How many did you do?
I only did 20. It's
Pretty good still.
it's not bad for a guy as out of shape as I am. 20s, I'm pretty happy. Previously, I'd been stopping at about 15 to 16 because at that point I'd be about this out of breath, which it's never a great sign. But in those videos, they're doing these like 100 a day, and then it was just like he doesn't tell them, but if you can, he did a base benchmark towards the beginning of like how many they could do before they started doing it. And like the highest amongst them was like 32, or the lowest amongst them was like 32. And that's where I thought I could be. No, I don't even know why. Like, I've never had upper body strength as a thing. So even when I was fit, like my upper body strength was lopsided because I was really strong on my right side and really weak on my left side because of fencing.
I mean,
Um, and so I couldn't do push-ups very well back then, even. And so doing 20, I'm pretty happy with. This is only like what 5 days of me doing this, so even moving it up from the 15 to the 20 already, I'm pretty happy with that to a degree. But like at the end of it, the dude that did 32 was able to get it up to I think 54, which I was like, that's pretty good. Like that's a pretty good amount to be like doing that. Also previously I'd been kind of stopping myself short a little bit, I think. Just because I have to lift my brother on a daily basis. So I don't ever want to wear myself out to the point that I feel like I can't lift his 90-pound ass on a regular basis. So, but I've definitely wanted to work more, and I want to get back into actually doing a workout routine.
when did you fence?
So I fenced from when I was 12 until I was about 16. So it was about a 4-year stretch.
Oh, that's pretty crazy. I
I,
didn't
int-
know people fencing like that young. I guess that makes sense.
I intended to fence longer than that, but then took a small injury. I got into bowling my junior year, and then a lot of the motions that you do prepping to get good form in bowling are actually antithesis to good form in fencing. And because one of them was school based, and I needed stuff school based to put on my resume for college, I kept with bowling, and I was like, oh, after my senior year, I'll go back into fencing. And then I just never. And then my coach got fired, and then I was just like, oh, I guess I'm not going back into fencing. And yeah, I've been wanting to get back into it, but it's also just really expensive. So
That sounds really expensive.
yeah, for I'd made a deal with them, so I was basically like the cleanup guy around the place, not really a full on janitor, but I like kept the shit organized and put equipment away and stuff after everybody used stuff, and I'd wash down equipment and stuff. And with that, I paid $150 uh a month, which is the general amount that you'd pay for floor time.
The hell?
And because I did all that cleaning stuff, I would get also 2 lessons a week. So there's some cool aspects to it and cool stuff for that.
It's pretty nice, too. I don't know it was so expensive though. That's insane.
Yeah, that was the cheap side of it. If you were doing normally, if you didn't have a deal like that, it would cost you. I think it was like for a plan that had a 1 lesson a week plan that cost you 400 a month. For 2 lessons a week, it usually be about 800. So I got a massive cut in the price.
Was it just like a really expensive place or something?
No, that's just fencing. Fencing's just really pricey, man.
Let's see how much it costs.
And I mean, I guess my gym also might be a little bit more pricey because the two coaches we had were ex gold medalists, so that might be part of it. But um,
Okay. First one I found near me is $85 for a 6-week class. Pretty sure.
that's
That's
just
all.
that's a class though that's probably slightly different.
What should I be looking for then?
So okay, so like lessons, because going lessons onward is to like, I don't know what they'd be called other places. We just called them lessons. It wasn't like because we didn't do classes. They started doing classes, which were cheaper, but it was just it would teach you like basic fundamentals, and you got a little bit of floor time with it. But then after that, like after that time, you had to move to like a floor plan, and if you wanted to continue lessons, you had to do individual lessons. So it's kind of like school versus private tutors, right? Like with school, it's cheaper because you can cut the cost because you have so many people that you're teaching at once. But opposed to getting one-on-one lessons, those are generally going to be pricier type of thing.
Not sure.
Um, but I loved fencing. It was a lot of fun. One thing that fencing doesn't teach you though, and bowling also doesn't really teach you that well, is team sports and how to apply that mentality of working as a team. Bowling a little bit better because you had bakers in bowling, which is where each person gets separated into having two frames. So like the person that goes first gets the sixth frame, person second gets the seventh frame, third
Me,
gets the yeah, so on and so forth. Um, but other than that, you know, both of those are very individual sports. So they didn't really help me for applying stuff to league.
do you think if you got into like sports that were more team orientated, it would have affected your league
I think
experience?
it depends on. It also comes down to me because I don't know. I think league was one of the outside of basketball when I was really young. But like I was in elementary school when I did basketball. I did that for like 4 or 5 years, but I was a kid. I was a little kid, so it didn't really stick very well. Also, it wasn't like for like a legitimate like play for anything league. It was a church league type thing. So it was like we don't really keep track of the score type thing. It was just for fun. Um, which still made it feel very individual. uh, I think if I'd gotten into more organized team sports, there's potential positive impact in the fact that you know for like football and stuff like that, you have to learn to work as a team to win. Uh, I think basketball can still be very individual stuff to a degree. If you have enough talent, you can just raw carry a team. LeBron James has proven that a couple times. Um,
Still has to play around this team though.
he does have to play with his team or have his team play around him. Um, and I mean, yeah, you still have to play a little bit more with your team, but like I think that there is still that expression of if you're so good, then you can do it yourself type of thing, to a small degree. But I think it could have helped me some, because it would have broken me out of that early mentality that I got stuck in with for so long. And I think, I mean, I still get stuck in it occasionally, where it's just like me versus my team kind of mentality that they're holding me back type shit that everybody likes to blame. If I had better teammates, I'd win this type of thing. Uh,
Yeah, that impacted you a lot when you first met.
oh, dude,
You talked about that a lot.
that was my
I
mental for
don't, I
so
don't hear it.
much.
I don't hear it as much anymore. Luckily,
Yeah,
I
I,
actually
I
didn't think
hopefully grew
about
out
it.
of it some.
I remember that was like one of the most annoying things I used to have to. You used to talk to me about.
And like the worst part also became that I could remember how bad some of the things my teammates would do. And like even now I can still do that to a degree, but like I think it's also weird because it's like I still have to a small degree that mental, but my verbiage for it has changed, so it doesn't, and my understanding of it isn't necessarily like, oh, my teammates are so bad they're holding me back mental, as the what the fuck do I do mental? Like, how do I fix what I'm doing wrong to make sure that I can carry these monkeys type mental? There's a small shift to it. There's a subtle shift in the tone of it. It's not necessarily blaming them, but it's blaming me for not figuring out how I can actually carry monkeys. You know, I can't. I'm a terrible cat herder. Is the thing I talk about there now. But let's see. What were some of these other questions we had here? Does Goomba come back? You can answer that with a flat no. Yeah, girlfriend priority. Um, so go into how bad is boosting, man. Like, kind of explain your idea behind what was that question? Like how relevant is it, or how much do you think it?
Yeah. I meant like, okay, because I was thinking about it the other day when I was playing ranked, and I feel like I don't, I don't, or maybe it's like still happening, but I remember like when I first started, felt like there were so many people, so many more people like boosting and being in my games.
Yeah,
I guess now it feels like there's Smurfs instead of boosters.
yeah, inverse,
And
right?
yeah, well, like maybe it's like the same thing, but when I see someone like Smurfy in my game, I never think now like, oh, that's an account that's getting boosted. Now I'm just like, oh, that guy's a Smurf. like,
Keep talking
but
about your opinion of this. I'm gonna take a step away because I have to pee. So
okay,
you talk to them about this because this is an interesting one.
me talking to them about it. Nick isn't here anymore, guys. I can do whatever I want. I'm just not gonna say anything till he gets back because that'll really annoy him. But yeah, actually, I don't know. I didn't really I wasn't really sure where I was going with the boosting thing. I guess I didn't feel like I get boosters as much in my games anymore. That was pretty much my only point. I'm not sure if anyone else is even still here, so this is pretty much just for the podcast, not for the stream. I'm curious who. There was one person in chat before, and I'm kind of curious if that's one of Nick's regular viewers or just someone who stumbled upon it. And for anyone who's here while Nick's gone, he's in the bathroom, so we're just waiting on him. Actually, I wonder if Darth is gonna show up. Darth, no, notice me. Actually, I want to ask Nick if Darth No even plays League anymore. Not gonna lie, I'm very good at talking to myself, but it looks like Nick's back.
I am. I
This
am back.
boy,
Uh,
I was wondering. I was looking at the chat to see if anyone was even in here while you were gone, and is the person that talked in chat, is that someone who regularly watches you, or someone who just stumbled in today?
I think that's one of my D&D players.
Gotcha.
I want to say that that's one of my D&D players. I'm pretty positive because Morning Willow is the name of a person that plays D&D for me with me. Um, and I know he plays League as well. Um, yeah. So
Wait,
we were talking about the change from what?
I don't know. I don't think my boosting question really was that in depth. It was just more like I don't feel like I see boosters that much anymore. And I guess maybe it stemmed from your question about that you posted about making friends because I had a few friends who boosted, and I was curious if how bad of a thing do you think that is?
So, like, my personal opinion about boosting was I thought it was stupid because that person that got boosted is just going to lose that rank in a couple of months, and then they're going to have to pay to get boosted again, anyways. Um,
I definitely agree with that. People who buy boosts that doesn't make sense for me, but the
uh,
people who I think
the
I think it's
boosters
like
themselves, I don't have as much issue with. I don't mind boosting as much as I mind smurfing. And the reason I don't mind it as much is because I don't see the booster. I probably won't see that booster pretty much ever again. The Smurf, though, will go between, yeah, I'm hardcore carrying to, I don't really want to get that much higher than this, so I'm going to troll a couple of games. Like, not play nearly as well a couple of these games, kind of trying to soft int kind of thing to make sure I don't gain elo so that I can stay in this elo and just kind of fuck around. And then Riot made it easier for them to not have to try to, like, it's harder for them to climb as easily now. So, like,
a lot of them just buy new accounts, so they don't
sometimes they'll
actually.
buy new accounts and they'll just stay in the same elo.
They're really cheap. They're only like $7 or something.
And that part bothers me a lot because like you see them so much. There's such a prevalent problem. Like people want to say like, oh, it's not that big a deal, and it's like no, in gold and silver where you have hundreds of thousands of people, it's not that big a
Yeah,
deal.
if you're not in Smurf queue, it's not that big of a deal. But if you get into Smurf queue, it's
Dude, Smurf Q sucks. Smurf
it's
Q
all
is
seen it.
so atrocious to be in. When I was on that giant win spree, I got put in Smurf Q, and God, were those some hard ass games, dude. Like, because you either get super lucky and your team is also just like you actually got the good Smurfs on your team, or you got super unlucky and it's other people like you who got put in Smurf Q because you're just winning a lot, and the enemy team is all Smurfs. And it's like shit. Like
I don't think I've gotten it yet. So I don't know. But my friends have, and
Smurf Q
actually,
is
wait,
gross, dude.
I played it like once or twice because I queued with someone who was in Smurf queue, but that's about it.
Smurf Q is gross, man.
But it wasn't like a huge deal because I do it with the Smurf. So
Mm-hmm. Unless you're playing with a Smurf and in Smurf Q with them, it's not that big a deal. But if you are in
yeah,
Smurf Q by yourself and you are not a Smurf, it can definitely feel overwhelming if you don't have a lot of Smurfs on your team. Which has happened to me a few times and has led to quite a few games of tilt. So I think smurfing is a much bigger problem than boosting. I don't have as much of a problem with boosting. But then again, I'm also not at the elo where boosting matters to me. I bet if I was like high diamond, my issues would be much more with boosting than smurfing.
wait, what? No one boosts in high diamond, dude.
If you, yeah, I mean, if somebody asks for, pays a shit ton of money to get their account boosted to high diamond, and I'm in high diamond and I have to play with these guys that got boosted to this level, that's atrociously difficult to deal with. There are people that will boost people from high diamond to like masters
Oh,
or and
you
stuff
mean
too
like
as well.
okay? So it's not actually like it's not someone boosting. It's someone who got boosted to
Somebody who
boost.
got boosted, yeah,
Yeah,
the boosted element is
yeah.
probably the higher I go up, the
I,
boosted element is more of a
I was
problem.
gonna say, I'm pretty sure like even people who are boosting at that level aren't that much better. So it's not like
No,
a
no, no,
big
not
deal.
the booster, but the boosted
Yeah,
animal there at that
yeah.
point.
I guess that would make a little more sense. I
But
don't think it happens often, though, because
no,
I don't think
it's
most
like
of the
scripting.
people,
It's kind of died out.
the people who like get boosted, I don't think they play it at that level or on that account that often, just because
They don't want to
they don't
lose
want
it.
to lose. Yeah, they don't want to lose what they just fucking paid for, regardless of whether or not they actually think they belong there.
Look, guys, I got a diamond account. That's not your account. What do you mean it's not my account? You don't play those champions. I have the password. Doesn't mean it's your account. I love also doing that type of stuff to people that try to like use a boosted account, like an obviously account that they've paid to be boosted, as their quote unquote main account.
I
And,
don't know. I
and
usually okay.
well, like you can tell when they have a boosted account as their quote unquote main account when that person links it to you guys to show off that that's their main account, and it's had like 30 games played on it. It's completely different role, and it's like obscenely different champion and stats, and then like they're playing like full tank something and getting their ass handed to them by another full tank, and it's like nah.
Well, I guess the other issue is that if they're really that high ranked, they wouldn't care to link their main, right?
Yeah,
They're on their Smurf and they're just like, whatever, the game's over.
I
I guess
have
I'll
met a
play it.
few guys that were actually Smurfs that did that linking, but they usually do it like after the game when somebody's like, "Hey, why are you kicking our ass?" And he's like, "Here's my main account."
Yeah, yeah. They're carried. It's not where they entered, and then they're like, here's my main.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
If they did that.
Like it's so bad. Like, why are you trying to prove that you're good and then you just had this rough game? Like, no, dude. Like, you played like a fucking monkey. What's? How did you get there? Like, yeah. I mean, I think talking about boosting in general is not gonna like have like a big depth to it. I think the offshoots of boosting though, like the smurfing and the boosted people, I think are much bigger problems. And
A lot, Nick.
huh?
What do you think about that? I said I Smurf a lot. What do you think about that?
I don't really run into you and you smurf in silver and you kind of fuck around. So, I mean, you're playing like a silver at that point. It's fine.
Oh, that's toxic.
What?
No,
To you or to the silver?
I'm like trolling it on.
Yeah, that's basically how silvers play. But they do it seriously.
No, I'm not losing my games though.
Yeah, I mean, you're still beating them if you were trolling and losing to them. That's a whole nother. That's bronze.
Like even when I Smurf, I win my games, so I'm pretty sure I'm not playing at the level of a silver. Because if I was, then I'd never get
You're
to gold.
probably playing closer to like gold level at that point on your Smurf because you're just kind of fucking around and not trying very much. But then again, we've also discussed in the past how fucking around and not trying can also lead to just high elo gains because you're.
Most most of the time, I only play on my Smurfs to get gold, so I don't really troll that much. Other than let me look at this account. Wait, but I'm not playing like a silver. I just make the game really hard for me. Like one of my accounts, I'm a Leona mid main. And, I, yeah, it makes the game. Dude, I solo killed a Silas when he had first blood on my jungler. He got free double buffs. I solo killed Molly at double buffs, and I was like, how did he lose this?
Oh
I
Lord.
so he fought me, or he was trying to push like reset the wave because my wave was bigger. So I just started fighting him in my wave, and then I just kept him locked down, and he couldn't move, and he died to me and my minions. And I took ignite, so he couldn't W me to heal. Let me look. I forget what the account name is. It's like,
That seems utterly ridiculous.
uh,
But
I I solo killed him, but I lost the game because my jungler was a chimp. But here, I'll show you. I've only played 3 games, and now that I think about it, the 2 that I lost, my junglers were chimps.
the games that I lost my junglers were chimps.
Dude, the second game,
Junglers to blame, my dude.
dude, the second game, like the one in the middle where I'm 1, 2, and 3, my jungler did a level 2 gank, like bot lane, and then just stood around and had to recall because he got too low from the gank. They got a kill. They got first
Gamer
blood.
girl.
Yeah, but yeah, I thought that he was okay because he got his first blood. And I was like, all right, that's pretty good. And then I see him run to his top side, and he took so long to do the level 2 gank bot that Scuttle had spawned. And he pinged me to go help him contest top Scuttle. He was level 2, and the Trundle was level 4.
Oh. Oh no.
And he just died, and I was like, what am I supposed to do about that, bro?
That's bad.
Like, you're 2 levels down in the Trundle. I can't fucking help you. And then, since he went straight from bot lane to Scuttle, the Trundle just took his whole top side. So he had nothing to farm, and he was still level 2.
Good Trundle. Good Trundle.
Yeah. But yeah, then the other game, my Zinzao entered. I mean, he came mid, randomly. The minions were right at my turret, so I was like, all right, he just gets some free XP. He randomly tries to fight the Silas when he's like level 4, and the Silas is like level 5, and he just dies, gives him free double buffs. Then I came back, solo killed him, and then he does the same thing, comes mid, dies to Silas again. I'm just like, all right, I guess. I guess I just can't win this game, but I mean, I think my Leona mid's pretty clean. Oh yeah, and then my teammates get really mad at me when I play Leona mid. I don't know why. Why would that happen? Like
Why
like
would they get mad at you for picking a
like,
troll pick?
like the game where the Poppy was worthless. My team was mad at me. And then the game where my jungler kept inting the Silas, my team was mad at me, and I don't really get it, but
Well, they're gonna be mad at you because you're playing something completely out there that's super off meta, so it's gonna be your fault.
I don't know what you're talking about, dude. I'm
Uh,
not doing anything wrong.
you're right.
They call me. What's his name? Who's the guy who plays Teemo and stands in top lane? Yeah, I'm that guy, bro.
The Teemo ward in the top lane.
I want to like goes top lane and he plays support Teemo, but then he goes top. Oh, new Brack. So I was thinking of. I don't think I'm as bad as Nubrak though. I'm not ruining someone else's lane. I'm just ruining my own lane if I lose. I still don't know how I solo killed the Silas as Leona, who had level 1
Oh, you're not
support.
you're not talking. No, it's not a Nubriac. It's starts with a
Brack.
Z.
It's Nubrak, dude.
It's
How do you
not a
not know
Nubriac. It's
Nubrak?
not a Nubriac.
It's Nubrak. Bro, how do you not know his name?
It's not a Nubriac because that's the tank.
It's Nubrak.
Oh, are you talking about? Oh, I thought you were talking about the HOTS character that just AFKs and just becomes something else. Sorry,
No.
I don't know. I don't know who Nubrak is.
Oh, just look at the video. Just watch the video and you'll know.
I don't know who that is. Are you familiar with Gibson?
No.
Let me see if I can find him. Gibson 1616, I think.
All right. I'm done.
1 second. He's on Twitch. Gibson 8686.
Who is this?
I'm gonna link him and just read his bio. He's just the best Alistar player, my dude.
Why didn't you take me to his mobile page?
Nubrak Teemo support strategy. So he literally just sits there in lane with you.
Yes. Wait, I'm watching this guy stream right now. He has a little Pikachu hat.
Yeah. Have you read his bio?
Talking about being bad, playing the game not very well.
Jeez, watching that dude, that Teemo is upsetting. So let me see. Let me see if what does his
That's
bio
what
say
I
now?
say. In the video, it's
Hola, Ryan Gibson here, and I play one of the champions very poorly because my hands are too old to play anyone else. Tune in to watch the pink cow spout useless information, utilize the skill sets of awful mechanics.
what rank
Bell ring taunt and shit talk his way to challenge Hure.
is this guy?
He's mid platinum. He is an Alistar mid main only, and he plays what he calls Communist Alistar. So if he starts getting a farm lead, he will back away so that his opponent can get free farm.
Oh,
If he
okay.
gets kills, he makes sure that his opponents get kills.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I think you told me about him before.
He is
But you said communist Alistar?
he is one of the biggest fucking trolls, and I had the unfortunate, after learning about him, literally got him in my game 2 games after that. And I was so upset. I was so mad that he ended up being on my team. And I had already used a dodge for somebody else who was intentionally trolling, and then he's on my team. It's like, fuck. Like, I had to try to win with him on my team. It was so hard, dude. He's such a heavy motherfucker. It's insane. But then he will actually sometimes just not be trolling for whatever reason. I don't know, I don't understand him. To be honest, there's games that he is just hard trolling, and other games where he's actually trying to help. And I guess it's to prevent himself from getting banned again. He's had 17 accounts banned or something like that.
That makes sense.
He's so weird, but he gets a static viewing on Twitch because of this stupid shit, and he'll spout out random stupid stuff like anti-vax shit and stuff. And I know it's all meme related, but dear lord, he is an interesting individual. But yeah, when you said somebody that just trolls on Teemo, that just kind of reminded me of him.
Gotcha.
Just known trollers. I don't know. I feel like the trolling problem in League has definitely gone up in the past couple of years.
I don't think people troll as much anymore, but they rage a lot more. And maybe it's because I noticed it more recently. But I feel like before, people used to always tell me about how they felt like everyone in the game was so toxic and how annoying everyone was. And then I was like, I don't feel like I have that issue that much. But then recently, the last year and a half or 2, feels like, yeah, every game I get, someone's fucking mad as hell and typing an essay in chat, or maybe it's the pings. I noticed that more too. People spam pinging all the time as soon as anything bad happens.
Yep. I don't know. Dartho is one of those the secretly
part
salty
of it is
guys.
because maybe part of it is because when I jungle now, I feel like I get like flamed every game, no matter how I do. Like literally, I can be like 5-0, and the enemy jungler's like 0-2 with like 3 assists, but then all three of his assists are like killing my top laner, and my top laner will just be like fucking flaming me, and I'm like, God damn it, dude. I just I don't know. I feel like whenever I play, there's all I feel like I think that there's gonna be someone who's gonna like type an essay about how someone on our team is doing bad or everyone on our team is bad. Whereas before, I feel like that wasn't as common.
Maybe for you. For me, it feels like it's been statically getting worse. But then again, I have also been saying for years that I feel like I've been having a ton of ragers
Yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff like that, and everybody's like, "Ah, I don't believe you. I don't see it." And then it's just gotten worse and worse, and it's like,
yeah, yeah.
to the point that it's like everybody's now experiencing what I've experienced, and like the only people that ever really believed me were people like maybe Darth No, who would watch my streams pretty often. He's like, "Good God, that guy's writing an essay." I was like, "Yep, again."
I mean,
Like,
when I watched your stream, I noticed it too, but it felt like it was like the same amount as I was getting, and now it feels like I get way more than I remember. I think maybe part of it is just because I don't I don't even know. I just feel like people rage like every single game I play now. Whereas before, like even when I win, a lot of the times like someone on my team is losing and they're just angry. And it's like, bro, why do these people play this game if they hate it so much? No, not that like I expect no one to ever rage, right? Like it happens, but it feels like the frequency is literally almost every other game. Or if I'm losing, then it's guaranteed to happen. Like maybe 2 out of every 10 games, there isn't 2 out of every 10 games that I lose, everyone's just like, you know what? We lost, guys. It's whatever. It's over.
those
But
are the worst people. Those are the preemptive quitters. Oh God.
no, 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 no. I meant like where they're cool and like everyone on my team is just okay that we lost. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
I try to be
But
that guy if I can,
yeah,
but yeah.
but then like the other 8 games that I lose, like, dude, everyone. Yeah, there's like the people you're talking about where they're like GG at like fucking 5 minutes when they get first blood. Like, or like we make some mistake and then my teammate just can't let go of it for the rest of the game. I don't know.
Or
Everything's
the why haven't we contested a dragon
or,
yet? And it's like, dude, there's only been 2 dragons.
my bot lane's like I want to hate, and they're like, why haven't we gotten a dragon? And it's like, I don't
And then
know,
it's
buddy.
like, as the game goes on, they keep trying to blame the jungle for never
Yeah,
getting objectives, and it's like, dude,
try
you lost
beating
lane
the
so
yeah,
hard, like, and you didn't
oh,
come down here and gank us. Oh, how? How was I supposed to? In like 3 minutes, you're dead 3 times each. Like, how am I supposed to help
yeah,
with this?
exactly. Like it is so hard, dude. And actually, it annoys me that everyone thinks that like jungle's supposed to win the lane for them. It's so annoying.
Yep.
But I get it. Like at the same time, I kind of get it because sometimes when I lane, like I feel like my jungler is useless. But then I just I've been that jungler, so I don't say anything. Like even if I feel like I'm irritated at the jungler, I'm not like gonna flame him because
Jungle
I
will
know
scare
that
Greg with a
it
pin.
wasn't his fault. It's just that's like my immediate first thought. You know what I mean? Especially in games where I feel like I set up the wave perfectly to where like he should gank me at some point and he just never does.
I've had a
Especially
couple of those games, yeah.
especially when I'm playing like something where I he doesn't need to do anything. If he ganks, like we just auto win. Like they're playing in a mobile champion or something, and I'm playing Gragas, and I'm freezing the lane like right outside of my turret, so that he always has to walk up to see us, and I just never get a gank, and I'm like, why?
So the only junglers that I end up getting mad at if I'm not playing jungle. So like I've been playing a lot of norms with a lot of really bad players recently. I don't know if you've noticed a lot of silver and below players. And like below silver players, majority below silver. And one of them is a jungle main. And he plays nothing but Ivern. And he's always behind on farm. And he can't gank. He's one of the nicest guys I've met. He tries really hard, but he is abysmal in the jungle. And I play with him. I'm like, I want to be nice to this guy. I really want to not be upset that he's such a bad jungler, but I don't know what he's doing. Like he's always 30 to 40 farm behind. He's never getting a gank off. He's always 0-4. It's like, how are you doing this badly on Ivern? You're not even taking like the heal smite. You're taking full on flash smite, and you're still getting caught out every 5 seconds. What are you doing?
And the other
Like,
thing when I watch a jungler that annoys me is when what happens earlier that I mentioned where I freeze the lane and then they actually gank, but we don't kill them, but they burn flash, and the wave is in the same spot, so he has to walk up to see us again. And I'm just like, all right, literally, just stand there and wait for him to come up to see us, and we can kill him because he has no flash, and my jungler just leaves and never comes back. He's like, I got his flash for you, so I guess my job's done. And it's like, bro, this is a free kill.
I have been that jungler sometimes, but I generally won't come back if I know that I can use them not having flash and you have enough pressure in the lane that I can just start taking objectives and being able to pressure another lane to like get them back into the game. Like maybe they're a little bit behind. Like say we have a Shen top that just needs a little bit more babysitting to make sure that he gets back into the game and stuff. And then you have the pressure and we can do a tower dive with the rift. I'll do something set up like that.
I mean,
Uh,
that's fine if you go somewhere else and like actually do something right, but
but
then
you're talking about the guy that comes in, they gank, and then they just go back to power farming. Like,
yeah, and then it's like, bro, this guy like if you do, especially on champions. Okay, this tilts me so much too. When the champion has like really obvious ways to gank your setup, and the jungler doesn't understand how to play around it. Like one thing is, I like playing TF a lot,
mhm.
and I hate it when like TF has so many losing matchups, right? And so I'm like, all right, so I'm losing this lane too hard, like because I have no way to trade. So I'm just gonna ult whenever my jungler ganks somewhere, and we'll like two-man gank. And then my jungler keeps coming to gank my lane. And I'm like, bro, just go gank somewhere else and I'll go with you. Like, what the fuck? Especially when they do it early game when I'm like pressured, or no, not even early game. When they do it like when I'm around level 6 and let's say I'm against like a Syndra or something, right? And it's like, and my jungler is not level 6 yet because we just hit level 6. And he tries to gank like the level 6 Syndra and dies to him. And I'm just like, what am I supposed to do? He has an ult that's useful, and I don't, and he's just gonna one shot you. And then instead of having that happen and realizing like, okay, I can't gank the Syndra anymore. Like I have to go gank another lane, and TF can just ult with me. He comes back to my lane to gank, and just dies to Syndra again. And it's like,
Yep.
why?
My,
Like I literally have an ult that makes your ganks on other lanes like impossible to fuck up because once you start fighting, even if it's a 2v2 because the counter jungle happens, I just ult in and we win. And instead, you keep coming to my like losing lane. Like another good one is fucking Yasuo. Like I'm playing TF against Yasuo and they want to spam gank me and it's
I
like,
hate ganking
bro,
Yasuo's before.
yeah,
Like,
like
oh god, I don't.
it's like I can't even gold turn him. I'm just gonna be useless. Like
My so as much as I love bashing other bad junglers, um, what I like to bash is fucking atrocious mid laners, the ones that can't understand wave management or understand the fact that they are a terrible lane for me to gank. So like the person that's just like they picked Zed into like Oriana and he's like, I can't kill her. It's like, yeah, and I can't gank you. Why can't you gank me? She's always shoved up. Oh, yeah, what CC are you offering here, buddy? How are you offering me to lock her down? Like, I'll try to lock her
what
down, but you're never in
what
position to go in for the gank. Like,
champion are you playing?
huh?
Champion are you playing though? I feel like Oriana's not that hard to gank.
Oriana is not usually that hard to gank if I can get like in, but this is the mid laner that has both of their wards up all the time because they're too afraid to leave their lane to ever move to go put a ward down because they think they'll miss one or two farm and that's gonna kill their lane. Um, they're this is the enemy mid laner, the Orianas that are playing hyper safe, so like they have barrier flash and shit, and then they always have a red ward in the bushes, and their junglers do it with them, so they're always putting down wards to protect the mid as much as possible. So it's like I'm playing, clear out ward simulator here. Like I'm just Oracle simulator all the time trying to clear the shit. I finally found a path where they don't have vision. I ping I'm going in for it, and then like the dumbass uses their shadow to try to like bait them towards me. It's like, you fucking idiot, just keep your shadow to dash in so that we can kill her. And like I've been playing, like at those times I'd been playing, let's see, I'd been playing maybe Gragas, which should help get the Orianna a lot easier.
If you're Gragas,
Uh,
if you're still left, the Zed doesn't even matter.
yeah, if you're
But
Olaf, it doesn't matter, but I don't play Olaf. But like Gragas, like
no,
I
I
don't need as much help
don't
from it, but I just need you to come in with the damage so that she dies. But like then they don't come up for the damage, and then they're like, "Oh, you just ruined my freeze." It's like, what freeze, dipshit? It's hitting your tower. What? Where's the freeze here? There's no freeze. The minions are on your tower. Like, and they're just like, oh, they're so ungrateful, but they don't know how to roam either. Like, they keep picking these assassins, they don't win lane, and then they don't roam. And it's like, what are you doing? Like, do you understand what your champion wants to do? Like, that's the part that bugs me, like, the most, I think. It's like, it's one thing to be bad and not know how to help with a gank. And you know what? I'm not going to gank you. You obviously aren't the greatest at laning phase. Maybe you're a roaming assassin player, right? But then they don't roam. And then they just bitch that they're losing lane. And it's always the jungler's fault that they can't push up, even though they picked a champion that has like insta wave clear with their like Q ability, because it's like all assassins at the moment. And they have the ability to roam. And they don't know how to do any of these things. And they don't know how to get in there and actually do close range damage to somebody who's ranged. The Orianna is just a random example. I think there was an Orianna recently that played really well until like it was a Zed. It was Orianna into a Zed, and I just couldn't do anything to this Orianna because he played like a bitch and was super, super good at denying me ganks.
Okay, so it wasn't really the champion; it was the person.
It was the person. The person themselves were playing really good into not getting ganked.
I'm gonna say Zed into Orianna. I don't think like even if they're losing lane, if they're like okay, it's not a matchup issue. It's like I was thinking more of situations where it's like a clear champion diff, you know, or not just a champion diff, but I meant like you literally can't get him. Like if you're playing Trundle and the guy is losing to a Cassidy and he wants you to gank.
Oh, how am I gonna gank that? Yeah, like I don't have any lockdown, and that motherfucker's running.
That was the example, more of the example I was thinking of.
Yeah, so that's a good example of it. Or like, I have let's say I have who is it? A Kiana mid, and we're against LeBlanc, and I'm playing as Viego, and they want me to gank. It's like, the fuck am I gonna do into that? Like,
you're just gonna die and I have to watch.
Like either you're gonna die or I'm gonna die. This is not a good plan. Like, this is just not well thought. We both should just be roaming and trying to kill somebody else. Like, oh man, the uptick in fucking Kianas has been bugging me, dude. Oh, that is one of the most atrocious, egregious things I have ever seen. Because, like, if you're really good at, if you're like DeMonte Kiana, play Kiana. I'm okay with it. That's your champion. You're really fucking good on it. If you're a one trick on the champion and you're really good on it, play it. If you're Yasuo a one trick, stop playing it. Unless you're, challenger already. But, like, Kiana especially bugs me. Because that champion is so fucking hard to play.
Yeah, I tried to learn her and that was really bad and I gave up after 2 games.
Like, I can generally figure out a small curve on a champion within 2 to 3 games. Like, and I'm not like great on them, but I can at least do the basic things on them and understand what that champion wants to do. I have no fucking clue what to do with this champion. Like, yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, I grab the frost here to stun somebody in this situation. I try to, cloak myself in this situation. I do a little bit more burst damage in this situation.
Well, actually, go ahead.
But like, it's so hard to do it correctly. Because even when you're like, oh yeah, this is what I need for this situation, then you're wrong. Nope. Here comes, somebody from, a different direction, and you really could have used that turn invisible at this moment, opposed to stunning this one person that you can't kill. And
I think I was just really bad at managing the fact that most of your combo revolves around throwing your Q and then getting another Q.
Yeah, Q, WQ.
Yeah, I didn't play around that very well. Or not just that, but I couldn't tell, like, sometimes I do it and I felt like I did no damage, and then sometimes I didn't do it and I was like, wait, I would have killed them. Like, if I just knew how much damage I did. But yeah.
I couldn't play around the W properly. Like, I understood the QWQ aspect of it, but I couldn't get the W positioning proper. Like, I didn't know, like, am I supposed to use this W to jump them, or should I jump something else? Like, I kept using it, like, so aggressively on her, because it felt like you always had to be aggressive on her. But sometimes it's just about spacing and kiting them out, because you get so many Qs off cooldown from that shit. and you can just poke them out and running away until you're in a better position where you can just jump back in and one shot them.
This actually kind of leads into something that I wanted to talk about, but I forgot to mention.
Oh, what was
Did
that?
you, do you ever like? Did you find anyone that you watched to like learn from, and they actually ended up impacting your game a lot?
Like watching somebody and
Yeah, like I didn't, I didn't even do this on purpose, but I used to. There was like a sometime on Twitch where I was like really bored and I didn't know who to watch, and I ended up watching Bjergsen for like a few days, and he was like spamming LeBlanc, and I just learned so much about LeBlanc just from watching him for like 2 or 3 days. And it wasn't even like intentional where I'm like, oh, I'm watching him so that I can learn how to play this champion so well. It was just like, wow, he's like so. I watched him and I was like, he's so good at LeBlanc that he does stuff that I never would have thought of. And now that I've seen him do it, I
and
can implement it into my own game. Do you?
I get exactly what you mean, and it's not necessarily a player, but I've done it with both with analysts because it's not necessarily I've watched something and I can implement it, but it's just like a thought process of why you build this item or why you go into this and this is how you adapt this. And I've learned that from analysts that I watch on YouTube and stuff because I'm kind of a boring person. So like my philosophy for building stuff, and back in like season 2, I watched a lot of Fnatic's original mid laner, the guy that made Alistar mid a thing. Um, and I used to watch stuff from him, and so I had goofy ass builds that I came up with because of stuff that he did to encourage it. So yeah, I've been encouraged by people that I've just gone to watch for entertainment, and learn something. Like I'll learn like that there was something about a champion that I didn't realize. Oh, I didn't know Skarner had an AP ratio on it. I was watching a Captain Flower stream and he was joking about how the trolls play AP Skarner. And I was like, why would they play AP? And somebody else asked it, and he explained it out. He's like, oh, well, there's an AP ratio on this and on this and on this and on this, and it actually would work. It actually works kind of okay. I just think it's troll. And then I went and tried it, and I was like, oh my god, this is so much fun. Why haven't I done this? So for a while, I was trolling with AP Skarner. like yeah, I've learned things just going to watch somebody, and it's just like, oh cool, I can definitely do this or do something like that. Anyone would expect it. I would watch highly low games on the client back when I was trying harding when it was still a thing.
Yeah, I think that's that's the only time that I've like watched someone and really. I guess a few of the Abdo clips, but I wasn't like trying to learn from it. But the Bjergsen was this the biggest impact to like where I immediately saw my gameplay change. I guess
Uh,
I didn't think about this either, but 1v1ing Darknet back in the day helped me a lot too.
he said that too. He's told me that on a couple
Yeah,
of occasions that
he
that was
he
how you
helped
guys
me.
helped.
Yeah, he helped me learn how to lane better. Because when I was like gold laning against other gold players, they didn't like actively pressure force me to trade, and then Darknet was like contesting every CS, forcing me to trade, and made me learn how to contest CS and safely CS better. And
Hmm.
then watching Bjergsen was like a huge thing. This was like maybe season 4, season 5 time where I watched him play LeBlanc, and then just watching him improved my LeBlanc so much. Like, because I think at one point when I played LeBlanc, I only played her one way, which was really basic. Where like I try to walk up and do the QW or QRW combo, and I saw
Hmm.
him. He didn't play around that as much at all, because if you use your W to like dash around instead of for damage, you can it creates opportunities where like you can trade so much better if that makes sense. Like
Yeah.
he wasn't afraid to just jump forward, QRE, and then W back from different positions instead of just purely using the
W is damage. Yeah.
yeah.
Uh, I just thought about it. I used to mimic Phantom Lord because I watched Phantom Lord back in the day. He was my favorite streamer, and I would watch him for entertainment. And then he was always peddling the revive teleport Karthus, and that was one of my
Yeah.
favorite things to play because of him. And I couldn't figure out why it was good. Like initially, I watched him and I didn't understand it. And then one of the episodes, he was showing it off, and he played nothing but that one day, and I was like, that's why you're supposed to take revive. Is so like I was using revive completely wrong and stuff like that, but like it just like it
Yeah.
clicked finally from watching him. Uh, so with that though, I want to invite the handful of people we have in chat. throw us a question. Whatever something you guys maybe want to know, something maybe you guys are interested in. Maybe there's something you guys have realized recently, and you're like, hey, I wonder if anybody else knows it. I want anybody to just kind of toss me and start the question to see if we can respond to it in a proper manner.
I think it's just me, you, and Darth, though.
There's 5 people, it says.
Yeah, me, you, Darth, and then I guess 2 other people who haven't chatted.
There you go. Darth No can ask us a question. He's technically a viewer, and then 2 other people. See, but maybe I should exclude Darth No because it's gonna be a weird question. We'll get there eventually, Sark. We'll have one day. There'll be like 40 people in chat, and they'll be asking us questions. We'll make it that day.
Or like, while we're waiting to see if anyone has a question, I was gonna say another thing I learned just from watching Basin stream was because I just did like the basic LeBlanc combo where you start off with your Q and then you W forward, and one thing I noticed that he did a lot, which I never did, was starting with the W first to find out how much you poke them down and then decide what you want to do after that, if that makes sense. Where he W onto them and then Q chain. Yeah, like you W forward, and once you land your damage, then you can QE to see if you can kill them, and if your W doesn't really chunk them out at all, then you just go back. But yeah, instead I was using my Q and my W as the primary start of the trade.
I'll type it out. Maybe somebody wasn't paying attention or wasn't here. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, there's probably situations like that. I just don't know of any that are coming to mind other than the Phantom Lord one, of course. But like I've always most of the knowledge I try to get for League isn't always mechanical, really. Huh?
Yeah, I like. Darkness sent me a screenshot. I like it.
What was it?
Someone was asking him for advice, I think, and no, they asked him if they could get diamond, and Darkness was like, "Yeah, you have the potential." And the guy was like, "You've never seen me play. How would you know if I have potential?" And Darkness, "You have 2 hands and 10 fingers. That's all it takes."
Actually, takes less than that. There's that one dude that made Challenger with his feet.
Yeah.
Because he had no hands. That's besides the point. But feet OP. That one dude that made it to, was it low masters with Yuumi with his feet as well?
Yeah, that was insane.
I mean, it's kind of insane, except for when you realize that at the time that he did it, Yuumi was insanely broken. So
But he was playing 2 champions. You're talking about that guy, right?
Yeah, the dude that played Ezreal's with his hands and Yuumi with his feet.
Yeah.
He did it to prove a point that Yuumi was busted and needed to be tuned. Yeah. It was so dumb. Like people were like, he only got to Diamond 1. I was like, no, he did some off stream and he made it to freaking Masters.
I mean, doesn't matter.
It doesn't. Yeah, I mean, he still made it to Diamond 1 with it, but like, yeah, he still made it to Masters after that off stream. So grody, dude. It's so disgusting how broken that was. Well, I guess if chat doesn't have any questions, Sark, did you have anything else that you wanted to hit up on?
I think I'm good.
All right. Well, with that, I think we're going to conclude this episode of the Dangerous Game podcast. Those of you who are in chat that might want to stick around, I'm going to be doing some normal games after this, and everybody is invited to play if they want. And I want to thank all the people that listen to this on the YouTube when it comes out on Monday. And follow down below. Links, as always, will be down below for me and Sark. And hope to see you. What's up?
And your butt. You're gonna put his down there too.
Oh yeah. Goombas will also be down there so that you can, go harass him for dodging out on us for a girl. And I hope to see you guys in the next episode of the podcast. Catch you guys later.